Now, normally I talk immigration with Alanor,
Mm-hmm.
but this moment that we're in right now, today,
Yeah.
this very moment, it's really important to talk about because some of y'all call in. I'm sure you've heard it, Reese. I think more than anything, when I have people who are upset with the Biden Harris administration, they always bring up immigration.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like some of us, oh, they bring up trans folks too. I still don't know why they're in it. That's such a tiny part of the population, but whatever.
Right.
But immigration, you know, it's been a insidious messaging that
Mm-hmm.
has kind of worked
Right.
because they're shipping human beings
Mm-hmm.
to cities that have black mayors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been really cruel, to be honest. It's torment by law. It's
Right.
misery by law. Now, what's interesting is there is a bill, one of the most impactful immigration bills that we've seen in decades.
Mm-hmm.
Lindsey Graham said, and you know how I feel about Lindsey. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm trying to be respectful
I
to
know.
him
I
in the
know you hold it back.
2020.
I know you hold it back,
But my
Chad.
Clay Nation people, my Clay citizens, you know what I really want to
Fill
say.
in the blank.
All right. Lindsay, he said this is a better deal that you'll get, his party will get, if they own the House, the Senate, and the White House.
Mm.
It's the first immigration border deal in decades. It's bipartisan. Mitch McConnell even likes it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how Mitch is. Now, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
where Timothy is with it. Timothy Scott, I don't know. But I know Mitchie, and I know Addison and Lindsay with his mint juleps. They like this bill. They have enough votes in the Senate to pass this immigration bill. It gives an incredible amount of money to border security. That's the
Mm-hmm.
big thing they want. It's an incredible amount of money. It increases border patrol, the border security budget, border technology, and it also gives immigrants incentives to come here legally
Mm-hmm.
before they cross the border. There's a lot of concessions for Republicans in this bill. A lot.
Right. Right.
House Republican Speaker Mike Johnson is not going to allow a vote.
Mm. Mm-mm.
He said, quote, it's a complex issue. I don't think now is the time for comprehensive immigration reform.
A Republican is
Weren't you just out the border, right? Weren't you just at the border giving speeches about we need immigration reform, blaming Biden, blaming any Democrat, blaming Vice President Kamala Harris? But here's the stunt. Reportedly, not even reportedly, that demon Laura Ingraham, she said that she spoke to, this happened last night. She
Yeah.
said she spoke to Trump. Can you imagine if Rachel Maddow said she was speaking to Biden? Not that Rachel
Mm-hmm.
Maddow and Laura Ingraham are,
No, no,
the
no.
same
But I
thing. Just
get it.
saying, like, can you imagine anybody saying that? And Trump don't like the bill. So Mike Johnson reportedly the reason why Trump doesn't like it reportedly allegedly is because he knows, and so does Mike Johnson, if this bill goes through, it'll look too good for Biden.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
This is the one thing they have. Biden has failed with immigration. So all y'all who call in and you're mad about Chicago and mad about New York, I expect you to call in right now and say,
Mm.
well, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That there's a bill that increases border security, that will stop the flow, that even Lucifer, Addison McConnell likes, Moscow Mitch, Lindsey Graham. And you know when Lindsey and Addison go in there, you know Timothy's right behind them. Timothy ain't gonna gut this like he did the George Floyd Policing Act.
Right.
This is what y'all want. And reportedly, Mike Johnson doesn't want it to go through because it might hurt Trump's chances.
Mm.
Because that is the main thing Trump leans in on is
Mm-hmm.
immigration.
That's true.
They got diseases. They come in here. What do they call them? Anchor babies and the gangs and what happened to the? Do they still talk MS-13? Is that still a conversation? I don't hear that
I haven't
anymore.
heard that one in a while.
What about the
Mm-mm.
the caravan? I haven't heard that one either.
That
Has they
caravan
moved on?
disappeared after
Okay,
one of these elections.
okay.
Yeah.
I guess we they on DEI now. That's the one.
DEI is the new
But
boogeyman. Shit.
But this is sad, y'all, because this is the first in decades. This could do a lot of great work. But Mike Johnson don't want to do it. And you
Mm.
got Lindsey and Addison telling Mikey to do it,
Mm-hmm.
saying, bring this up for a vote. He doesn't even want to bring it up for a vote, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to bring it up for a vote. This is who they are.
Yeah.
Reese, I get these calls all the time. Immigration, immigration. They're taking away our jobs. They're hurting black folk. They did it. Okay, if you believe that, then what you should be doing right now, if you know who it is, and if you don't, just pull up the 5 calls app. You should be calling
Mm-hmm.
your representative in the House,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're in Louisiana, especially if Mike Johnson represents you.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, even if he doesn't, just call anyway. You should be calling your rep in Texas, in Alabama, in Florida, in Arkansas, and saying, tell Mike Johnson to put this immigration bill up for a vote.
Mm-hmm.
His colleagues in the Senate want it.
Yeah.
And then also, it has funding for Ukraine and like all the things the GOP claims they want.
Mm.
Here's an immigration possible fix, first one in decades. But
Yeah.
they don't want to give Biden and Harris that credit because she's been working on that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to be able to say, can you imagine if he says, we passed the immigration bill, Obama couldn't do it, Clinton couldn't do it, Bush couldn't do it, the older Bush couldn't do it. That's big. But I'm
That's
sure
a pretty
folks
big
would still
deal.
say,
Yeah.
oh, well, it don't matter. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, I just want to point this out, Reese. But
Yeah.
go ahead, take it away. Your
I mean,
thoughts.
it's been clear for how long now that the Republicans are not problem solvers. They're not here to actually improve any circumstances of anybody in this country unless you're wealthy. Okay. So it's on brand for them to howl about the crisis of immigration, but then turn around and obstruct potential way of mitigating the immigration flow or whatever the situation may be. So I think it's very interesting that when you actually do have bipartisan support, which is pretty unheard of still in this
For
day and age,
immigration?
yeah, on immigration, and you saying, well, we're not even going to bring it up for a vote, that just shows how unserious Republicans are. And that just goes to show that Republicans want shit to be fucked up so that people can be disgruntled and say, well, we got to make a change. The whole time that we got to make a change is giving more power to the people who are obstructing the change that you want to see. So it doesn't matter. It's ass backwards the way that the psyche of the American voter works. Oh well, the Democrats didn't get it done, so we're not gonna vote for Democrats. But we're going to give power to the people who are the reason why they didn't get it done. Okay, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, Republicans have figured out anytime something doesn't happen, the Democrats get the blame. It doesn't matter
Absolutely.
how the math broke down, how the votes broke down or didn't have a vote. They know that the way that folks work is it's the Democrats' fault. Well, why weren't you able to get the votes? Why weren't you able to pull off a miracle? And these people, don't have to lift a finger. That's how it works. So they really don't have any incentive to actually get shit done. And that's why they can continue to get away with what they're getting away with.